Hey guys, it's Nexus here, doing another interview with a gamer. God damn, third time in a row, right? Okay, I have here with me today, I have Matthew, who is the owner of the channel DrumForestDrum. I'd like to say thank you and welcome to the interview.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, not a problem. Okay, so we're going to start with a very simple question. Why do you game?
Supposed to be a simple question. I mean, it's a question I've never really thought about. It's something I've always done, mainly, like ever since I was little. Me and my older brother had a Mega Drive when we were kids, or Genesis as it would be in America, by Sega, and just sort of that kind of kicked it all off. And then as I grew up, we got the PlayStation, Game Boys, and it just went on from there, really. And I enjoy gaming. I enjoy sitting down, either with friends or with myself, and just being immersed in like a different world and seeing what people create, pretty much. I love seeing what people create, and I find gaming is an awesome output of creation.
Okay. All right. Okay, so before we get into your channel, so from what you're saying about the creativity and stuff, so you say so basically your childhood was gaming, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have anything from your past in your childhood that you still play today?
Yes. I still regularly play. I play at least one Pokemon game a year, whether it's the old ones or the new ones. And also, I quite enjoy occasionally going back to the old games of the Sega Mega Drive. Like, very recently, I've been playing Sonic 2, and I've been doing that for my channel, and I've been really enjoying it. It's been a real rage game for me at the same time, because I don't remember those games being so difficult, but they are. And I did a video, a 2-part video, the Let's Talk video the other week, where I was just talking about the Mega Drive with my brother. And when I was recording footage for it, playing all the different games I played as a kid, was absolutely great. Difficult, so difficult, but it was great. And I'm definitely sort of getting back into playing a lot of the older games again, for sure.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Typically, I find a lot of people, especially when they relive those childhood, they notice that those games aren't as easy as they remember them. Like you've personally watched me play Donkey Kong Country, and you know how much fun that was.
Yeah, it was.
Exactly. But yeah, that's the kind of thing, is the whole nostalgia thing. And it's good to go back and play those really simple games where you had a certain goal, you had a certain thing you had to do, and there's not graphics were a thing, really. It was just more so the immersiveness of the game and how it was going.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to your channel. I have your channel up in front of me. Do you have any series that you would like to bring forth for the audience that you think they should check out on your channel?
There's 2 actually.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm in the midst of uploading Little Nightmares is my most recent one.
Okay.
And I have been really enjoying that. Really good game. Awesome game. It's a really nice sort of puzzle platforming game by Tarsier Studios and Bandai Namco.
Okay.
And I would really recommend, if you haven't played it or if you want to check out some new games, have a look at that one, because I've loved that game. It's a gorgeous game. It's a really strange concept to it. And the other one was Outlast 2. I've recently finished that one. I've also put up a review for it in case anyone doesn't want to watch the whole thing and just wants a sort of general idea if they're thinking of playing. That one was a tough one for me, I won't lie. I think it's definitely worth a watch. I think people should watch that one, because that one really took me out of my element. I've never been one for sort of the survival horror aspect of gaming. I never got into those. as much. So then I decided to take this one on, and for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I won't lie, there were bits of it that got me frustrated. I even had to put it down for a couple of weeks because I just lost my rag with it. But then I sort of calmed myself down, went back to it 2 weeks later, and found myself really enjoying it again. So I think that one's definitely one that I think people should check out as well.
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree on Outlast 2. I personally did a playthrough of it as well. And there are some really frustrating parts on that. I've become kind of accustomed to the kind of survival horror. I've played through the first Outlast, the second one. I've done Evil Within. I've done a bunch of that. I'm still trying to finish up that series. And there's a second one coming out, so I'll probably be playing that as well. Okay, since we're on the topic of horror games, is there a particular reason why you find that you don't play those kind of games often?
I think it was because, like, when I was younger, I always played the Sonic and things like that. And I remember when we had the PlayStation, my dad, when we first bought it, my dad bought himself Resident Evil 2 to play. Mm-hmm. And obviously the Resident Evil franchise is massive. Like, the earlier games are like fan favorites. They are loved. And obviously it's recently had a massive comeback with Resident Evil 7 as well. But when I was younger, I tried picking it up, and for one, it did actually scare me because I was quite young when that came out, and it did actually give me the creeps. But also I struggled with it. I struggled with the controls. I struggled with the camera angles because it has very tank controls. It's set camera angles, isn't it? And I just really struggled with it. And I think that kind of put me on a path of playing other sort of styles of games. I'm a massive fan of the action RPGs. I love JRPGs. I love a good shoot 'em up and things as well. So I think it just kind of veered me off very young because I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't get to grips with the controls. So I think that's sort of what pushed me away from them, if I'm completely honest. Okay, yeah, that's the kind of thing, especially with certain genres. I can't speak apparently. Certain genres in games where being subjected to a certain type, where if you not into it at first, then you feel like you can't play them. I have to agree. The original Resident Evil game, they actually remastered that for the Xbox, and I think PlayStation as well. I do remember the camera angles in that, and I have played it. Yes, I'll have to completely agree with you on those points there, and it would kind of turn you off, especially with that, and also being young, the certain things would have kind of scared you in order as younger as you were, and it's perfectly fine because you just branched out into different type of games, like you say, action and stuff. That was my kind of jam, and really before horror games really weren't my kind of thing when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I've kind of developed a kind of want for them because being scared, people love watching you be scared, apparently. Yeah, the general public does enjoy watching people freak out and get scared. Completely agree on that. And I do agree on, like, I kind of feel the same way. After playing Outlast 2, I do feel like I want to sort of branch out into the horror genres a little bit more and sort of catch up on what I've missed over the years, because there's been so many horror games over the years that people love that I do feel I've missed out on a massive chunk of the gaming community.
Mm-hmm. If I were to offer you a recommendation, I would offer doing Silent Hill, any of the Silent Hill games, because those are accustomed to kind of Resident Evil and all that. They're a little bit, I will warn you that they are a little bit psychological horror in certain senses, but they are amazing games for their time. The older ones, like on par with what it is, but it was kind of the more kind of creep factor. Like, for example, Outlast 2, with the sort of themes and the different dreams and different stuff like that was introduced in that kind of game. Ties back to Silent Hill and stuff like that. And if you were if you've gone through Outlast 2, I think you can definitely do the Silent Hill games, because if you can survive Outlast 2, you can survive any older game than that on horror, really.
Sounds good. I'm definitely gonna have to pick that up then.
Yep. So definitely try that out. Okay. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more probably about your channel. Your icon. The icon that you used for your channel. Did you create it, or did you get someone else to create it?
My girlfriend actually created it.
Okay.
She's pretty much done all the artwork for me. She's done all the sort of intro for me as well, and everything like that, which is pretty awesome. Like, she's been a massive support in sort of taking all this up, because I kind of did it because I've always wanted to do YouTube and this kind of thing, but I've just never really had the guts to kind of get on with it and do it. And she has been a massive support in all of this, definitely. But yeah, no, she did it for me, which was awesome.
Okay.
Really awesome.
So was there a certain inspiration behind the creation? Like, I'm guessing she asked for your input. What would you say? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It's interesting because I came up with the name DrumForestDrum, and that's a name I've used for quite a while with when I game. Like, I quite often name my characters Forest in games, and like, I remember when I played FIFA, I named my team DrumForestDrum, and DrumForestDrum sort of originated because I was always into my music. I used to be a drummer. I still technically am a drummer, but I used to be heavy on the drums, be in bands and everything. And I used to want to open a drum shop when I was older. And I wanted to call it DrumForestDrum, sort of a play on the words Run Forest Run.
Mm-hmm. I
always thought it was had a nice ring to it. So I sort of went with that. And then after I sort of started creating it all, my girlfriend literally just came back to me with it. She had put it together. She didn't really ask for my input or anything. And I looked at it and I was like, that is amazing. Like, that is exactly what I'm after. Like, she just sort of came up with it to herself, really. She didn't ask me for any input on it, which was really awesome.
Okay, that's good. Let's see here. So I can see in the upper right corner that there's a Twitch link. Do you do a lot of streaming?
I don't, unfortunately. It's something I need to get back into, but I started off by streaming. Basically, one of the things that gave me the push to get into all of this was my mate started streaming. Jack's Game Face, he is on Twitch. He hasn't done it in a while though, unfortunately, but he started streaming Overwatch and he wanted me to join, so me and him did some Dark Souls together and a bit of Overwatch together on Twitch. And then I kind of, from there, decided I wanted to jump into the YouTube space, like, because that was what I always originally wanted to do, and it just kind of gave me that push to actually do the YouTube instead. And unfortunately, since I've started the YouTube, I've unfortunately completely stopped streaming at the moment. I know I have a stream coming up on Saturday. Me and some others are gonna be playing Dead by Daylight. And I think what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna stream that through YouTube.
Good idea.
And then once I start streaming on a more regular basis, I'll then start streaming on Twitch as well. But I think because I'm focusing a lot on YouTube at the moment, I'll stream through YouTube for this one. But yeah, that's Saturday. Now, I live in the UK, so it's going to be like 3 a.m. in the morning for me when this happens.
Okay.
So it'll be something like anywhere between 7 and 9 p.m., depending on where you are in America, I think. But yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well, at the time of this video, this is probably, I'm guessing, so by the time this is released, it's probably going to be a week over you streaming. But
yeah,
I'll still include a link. Do you Now, when you're streaming, are you streaming just directly each one, or have you ever thought about using Restream?
I've had a little look at Restream because I do think it is beneficial to stream on more than one.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to get into that one. But I think at the moment, just for getting started again, I think I'm going to just stream on YouTube.
Okay.
Just to kind of get myself back into it a bit, I think.
Okay. So, all right. I am going to look at your playlists because I like to check out certain things. Okay. So, I see that I see the Sonic the Hedgehog. I see Little Nightmares. Now I'm really interested on talking about this series that you're doing, Near Automata. I think that's correct the way you're spelling it?
Automata. I've heard it being said so many different ways.
Okay.
It's kind of one I kind of flip between how I say it quite regularly.
Okay, well, since it kind of just caught my attention, could you explain a little bit about what that game is about?
So, Near Automata is an action RPG. Mm-hmm. It is a follow-on from the game, a PS3 game called Nier. Mm-hmm. But it's not like a direct follow-on. It's set years and years after. You basically play as a girl called 2B. She's an android. Mm-hmm. And you got to destroy robots. Robots have taken over the Earth, which are being controlled by aliens. The story is very up in the air. It's very kind of crazy, and there's a lot to it. It's one of these games that you kind of really have to delve into because it started off. Do you ever remember a game called Drakengard?
Yes.
It's actually related to Drakengard. Would you believe? Drakengard had several different endings, and this one, Nier, and this one follows on from one of those particular endings. And then there was also like a musical that was, or a theatre play that was somewhere in the storyline as well, which adds to the storyline, which I thought was strange, but at the same time kind of cool that they decided to go that way. But basically, aliens have taken over the world with robots, and humans have built androids to fight back effectively. It's a very Japanese game, if you understand what I mean by that. It's a bit crazy. There's a lot going on. The combat is fantastic. I love the combat because it combines your hack and slash motifs, and then it throws in some bullet hell as well, which I think's awesome. It keeps it sort of spiced up very nicely. Keeps you on your toes a lot. It's a long game. It's a pretty long game. Like at the moment, it's not on YouTube. All of it's on YouTube yet, but so far I've played the first 2 playthroughs, and there's a third one that I've still got to do. The first playthrough you play as one character. The second playthrough you play the same story but as a different character, so you see slightly different things happening where they split up and stuff. And then the third playthrough, from what I've heard, is completely new stuff, like stuff that hasn't been touched on before and carries on the story completely. So it is a long one. It is a very long one.
Yes, from what I can understand, there is 36 videos up so far on that playlist. Yes.
So far, after finishing the second playthrough, I've recorded 44 videos.
Ah, okay. So that is a very, very lengthy game. Okay.
Yeah, it is. But it is one of these that, even if you're not interested in the storyline and you love just a really good hack and slash game, I would really recommend it. It's really fun. It's fast paced. And the combat is great. Like, you get a bunch of different weapons. You get strong attacks, sort of light attacks. You level up. You get a little robot to shoot for you and stuff. And the bullet hell just, as I said before, it just really sort of changes it up and keeps you on your toes. And it is just a fun game, I find.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely put a link in the description to this game so that you guys can check this game out, because as far as I'm concerned, it's very interesting, and I'm definitely going to check it out myself. So, as you were saying, that a lot of your thumbnail, a lot of your art on your channel has been done by your girlfriend. I'm guessing she's also done the little robot for this series here.
Yes, she has done all of my thumbnails except for the Sonic the Hedgehog one. Like, because I love the art style she does for all of it, like the hand-drawn look, like, and she also puts in the little blue controller, which is sort of the mascot, effectively links back to my, whatchamacallit, logo.
Back to your channel. Yeah, back to your logo, back to your channel art. Yeah, that's good. Always good to do. That's very good.
Yeah. So in this one, you've got like the little robot holding the blue controller. If you look at the Outlast 2 one as well, you've got the blue controller. You've got like the main sort of person, which is on the front of the Outlast 2 sort of cover art. And now you've just got the blue controller sort of hanging off. Same if you were to look at my Dead by Daylight one, you've got the nurse from Dead by Daylight sort of holding the controller hanging down from her arm as well. And I love the art style she's done for all of it. I love it. Unfortunately, she's quite busy, so I don't like to shove too much work on her. Like the Sonic one, I got Jolly Lads Carl from the Jolly Lads channel to do, just because I wanted, it's only a short series. I wanted something very simple for it, so he literally just took the cover art from Sonic and he just added in my controller sort of laying on the floor as if Sonic was playing it or something.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's perfectly fine. Everybody has their own art style for that, and they get help with certain thumbnails, and that it's really good to kind of branch out and get other content creators to help you, because that kind of in turn you do something for them, they do something for you, and it creates kind of a good community where you can have kind of a formal relationship, especially between two different channels, which is good.
Yeah,
very good, very good. Okay, since we're kind of having an interview right now, I kind of want to pull attention to your Let's Talk series. Would you give a kind of brief explanation on that?
So the Let's Talk series is what kicked it all off, effectively. It's what I started with. It's sort of the main thing that really sort of got me thinking about doing YouTube more. And it's basically me, and it's usually my girlfriend Jamie. It's usually me and her. But I have also had my brother. There's also been a couple of other ones where it's just me talking. And it's basically, we're playing a game and we're just having a chat about the gaming world. It's nothing too serious or strenuous. Like, I do some research on it, of course, beforehand, so I don't sound like a complete muppet. But we just have sort of a very chill chat. So like, for example, one of the good ones that I really liked was split screen multiplayer, and sort of what's happened to that, and our thoughts on where that's gone and what's happening in the world of that. Or another one I really liked, which was one of my longer ones, went on for half an hour rather than the 20-minute mark, was boss battles. Like, what we enjoy about boss battles, what makes a good boss battle in our eyes, kind of thing. And it's literally just that. It's just me and someone else playing a game, having a chat, and sort of just putting our thoughts over on a particular subject. And my most recent one, which is coming out this Friday, is just me, and that's a review on Outlast 2. And I think there was a 3-part series in there somewhere, which was just me chatting again on my own and just basically chatting about the games that came out at E3 and the ones that caught my eye, effectively.
Okay, well, definitely I will include a link to the playlist of that, because if people want to check that out.
I think See, that's an interesting question. It's a tough question. I think it does to a degree, but at the end of the day, YouTube looks at your view time. The main thing it looks at is your view time. So, although having a high subscribed count is good, and it does add to that, because obviously the more people who have subscribed, the more people appear, quote marks appear, are watching your videos, which in turn would obviously add to your view time and your view duration, because that's what YouTube looks at. But I do think, especially in these early stages, like, because I'm very early. I mean, my subscriber count's only 22, and that's gone up, I personally feel, fairly slowly. I've been doing it a few months. I mean, I don't know. I've been doing this about 3 months now, just over 3 months, and it's at 22. Now, to me, that feels like it's gone up slowly. But then again, that may be fairly quick compared to other channels out there, because there are so many channels. But I feel that people in the early stages, the amount of people like who I chat to who also have YouTube channels are always sort of asking, like, how many subscribers do you have? And I'm kind of sitting there thinking, that's not what you should be looking at this moment in time. Like, yes, it's important, but you're focusing on the wrong thing. Like, you're putting too much focus on the subscriber count. You need to be looking at your analytics. You need to be looking at your view times, and not only just your view, like the amount of views, the duration, like how long are people watching for? And I think that's where people really drop the ball in these early stages, is they're not looking at that analytics enough. And I won't lie, I occasionally do it as well. I look at my analytics and I kind of just sit there staring at the analytics thinking, well, what am I going to do about this? And not actually come up with a conclusion. I just think, I'm just going to carry on doing what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, you really need to look at those analytics, look at the view duration of each video and each type of video, and see where people are dropping off, and then go from there. So yeah, I think the subscriber count is very important, but I do think that people get too hung up on it, and they should be looking at other things as well. Yeah. 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 Nah, not at all, man. Nothing wrong with rambling.
Do you have any upcoming series that you'd like to talk about that you would like to kind of get known now that people can expect to see on your channel within the next time frame?
That's an exceedingly good question. No, actually, unfortunately, I'm in this moment where I've just finished all my playing of Little Nightmares and recorded all that. I want to do the DLC for it as well. I've just finished Sonic 2 and recorded all that, and I'm kind of at this moment where I really need to think of another game to start playing and recording to get it sorted, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Which is really annoying, because I'm looking, I'm just thinking, what should I play? And it's one of these cases where it's a case where I should play what I want to play, which is fine, but there's so many games out there that I'm kind of sat there thinking, well, I don't know which one to play.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a certain thing. Is sometimes you get kind of this niche kind of thing where you don't know exactly what you want to do. I find that the best way to do that is to go look out and see what you're interested in, and then asking your viewership or asking people to vote on a poll. Like, you've probably seen my examples of when I put up polls randomly.
Yeah.
So what I should do like that. And I find that's a real key helper, because people would say, ooh, I want to see this. And so I would suggest, especially with that, is, just go out, look at some games, stuff like that, and say, hey, guys, you want to do it on Twitter or another social media platform, and kind of ask the community about it, and you'll get good answers. Even if they might just be able to suggest something for you, because that is the best thing like that. They say, hey, you play a certain type of game. Hey, can I try this one out? I find that's the best way to kind of get your way out of that kind of niche, because then you're like, hey, yeah, people want to see this, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. I should try this out. Yeah. And I think that's probably the best thing that you can do when you get into the kind of ruts like that, is to always ask others, ask your viewers, ask your fellow content creators, but never go always for the popular stuff. Go for something that you think you're going to enjoy. Even if people suggest certain things, you're like, nah, I don't really want that. Especially for me, I like to make sure that I'm doing something that I'm going to enjoy and they're going to enjoy, and I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And so that's probably the best thing for you to do with that, is after this video comes out, you're like, yeah, I know exactly what I was going to do. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, okay, on that note, Nexus, what is there anything you would recommend for me to do?
Would I recommend anything? So you're primarily a PC gamer, and stuff using Steam and whatsoever, right?
Yeah, at the moment it's primarily PC gaming. I'm actually looking at getting a Retro 2 at some point soon, which will be cool. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of it, yes.
I've recently just cottoned onto that one, and I was thinking that would be perfect. So I'm looking at getting one of those soon. But yeah, at the moment it's sort of all PC at the moment, because I've got no way of recording my consoles, because they're in a completely different room to my computer, because it doubles as my main sort of gaming computer and also my work computer, unfortunately.
No, that's usually how it is for everybody. My laptop itself that I'm currently using, yes, I really need to build a custom PC. But getting back to the topic of games, how are you on simulators?
The closest thing to a simulator I've played was The Forest.
Okay.
And that's not really a simulator, really. It's a game in itself, but that's the closest thing I can think of.
So, do you find that you are quite good with most PC controls with the keyboard and stuff? Because I actually have a really good suggestion for you, and you might hate me for it.
Go on, go for it.
Okay, I personally think that if you really want like that, test your skills as being a PC gamer, Surgeon Simulator. I would recommend
Surgeon Simulator.
Yes, basically, after this interview, you should go check it out. It is basically a game where you are playing as a surgeon, and you have to remove certain body parts. And there's there is a hand, and you have to twirl with your mouse a certain way, and you have to use the keyboard to lift it and update your hand.
Yeah, I think I know the one. Yeah, I've not played it, but I'm gonna have to have a look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend that, especially for difficulty, because like people would like really kind of get into like, especially with that, because I've had a couple playthroughs of that. I actually think I have a couple episodes on my channel if you want to check that out later on, just to kind of get a general feel of it, because it is difficult and it hurts your hands. Oh, it's good. But yes, Surgeon Simulator is it's kind of the type of game where you have to have a lot of patience. And once you get good at it, you're good at it. But do you tend to... that's another thing I want to kind of ask you. When you're playing games and you get frustrated, do you swear, or do you find that you have to kind of walk away and kind of cool down because that's not kind of your kind of style? I wanted to ask that while we're waiting for this to come out.
I swear.
Okay.
Some games I swear profusely. Some games not so much. Other than Outlast 2, in all my videos, I bleep all my swearing out. The only reason I didn't bother for Outlast 2 is because everyone in the game is swearing, and you're seeing a hell of a lot worse than me swearing, so I thought it'd be really pointless. But yeah, I swear.
Yeah,
I get frustrated. Sometimes I manage to avoid myself swearing, and I say other words. Like, you'll quite often hear me say fudge muffin.
Okay.
Fudge muffin's one I use quite a lot.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I'd have to say that this is, especially for me, is I don't bother, because typically I do swear a lot, and you've probably seen the example of me. Oh yes, but I basically just say pre-warn anybody. I do swear a lot. It depends on the person I'm playing with. If I'm playing a collab and stuff like that, and they don't want me to, I like to kind of aggregate what their channel does, because out of respect, right? I don't want to have them having to bleep me out like 1,600 times in one video.
Yeah.
Like that. And so that's perfectly fine for me. And so if somebody tells me, is like, hey, can we bring down swear? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. All right. Now that my thing is fully loaded up, let's see here. Another game that I think this is for other series. I personally think that it would be pretty hilarious if you played Who's Your Daddy. Who's Your Daddy is a very fun game to play.
Is that one of the? Is that dating simulator where?
No. That's completely different. That's a completely different game. That game. That's a game. That's a good one too. That's a good one too to try. But Who's Your Daddy is a game where you play as either the baby, or the toddler, and the father. And basically, your role to be as the baby is you need to kill yourself. You have to find the most horrible way to kill yourself by putting yourself in the oven, drinking all the liquids underneath the bathroom cabinet, and electrocuting yourself with a fork. It's all good. And then the dad's thing is to stop the baby. You can actually pick up the baby. You can put up gates. You can put things in the plugs. Basically, it's a versus game, and you can play. I think you're up to like 4 or so people, where you can have like 2 dads going or 2 babies going, and it's a really kind of interesting kind of game, and there's a lot of hilarity that can come out of it. And it's like, as long as you find someone really good to record with, it's freaking hilarious. Because then if you role play with it, it's hilarious. It's like, no, Daddy, don't do that. Don't stop me from plugging that in there. I'm just going to drink all the liquids. It is a wonderful game to play with that. There's that. How are you with like open world games?
I do enjoy a good open world game. I really enjoy open world games, thinking about it.
Okay. Another game which I would recommend if you have the time is Subnautica, because it is a very immersive game. It's currently it's pretty much all kinds of things, and you can get it on Steam. The updates on Steam are a lot ahead of the consoles, where you crash land on an alien planet and you have to basically dive deeper into the ocean, and you find different wildlife in that, and you have to take care. You can play it on different modes like survival, where you have to find and forage food, build your own stuff, and there's creative, where you can just build large underwater sea bases, and that's another great game that I would recommend anybody who wants to have kind of like that, because that series can last for a long time, because depending on how you chop up your episodes.
Yeah.
And that's another good suggestion. I would try that one as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's always that. So yeah, those would be my best suggestions for you to maybe look into. I'll put the links to those games in the description as well, because I gotta put those stuff in the description, yo. It's all good. It's all good.
Everything's got to go in the description, man.
Oh yeah,
it's all in the description.
Yeah, just so everybody can say, oh yeah, where did they talk about here? Oh yeah, I can click that link. It's all good. Okay, now let's getting back to that. Now here's a lot of people have a different opinions on this. Well, this is going to be kind of an ending question, because we are getting close to an hour. What kind of advice would you give to somebody just starting at YouTube now?
Pretty much what we have, like both of us said earlier, pretty much, was do what you enjoy doing. Focus on what you like. Focus on what you want to do. Providing you're having fun, that's the main thing. Like, as you said earlier, if you've got 5 people who are sat there with you having fun, like watching your videos, enjoying them, then you've succeeded in what you're trying to do. Like, providing you're enjoying yourself with what you're doing. I mean, prime example, my videos, the majority of them either get anywhere between 0 and 4 views kind of thing. Like, a lot of them don't get a lot of views at this moment in time. I'm still very early on, but I enjoy what I'm doing. So providing you enjoy what you're doing and what you're creating, go for it. Try not to get too stressed either, because it can be stressful. I remember I started off doing 7 videos a week, 1 every day, and I found myself getting well stressed out trying to keep up with it. So I decided to drop one. I now no longer upload a video on Sunday. And just giving me that extra day to not have to worry about has actually helped a hell of a lot. I'm a lot less stressed about it all. But yeah, that's probably what I'd say to anyone who wants to start up a YouTube channel. Enjoy it and try not to get too stressed about it. Have fun.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty solid. Okay, guys, this is going to be the end of this interview. I'd like to thank Matthew, aka DrumForestDrum, for taking the time to sit down with this interview for me. You look forward to this video when I upload it, which will probably be not this Saturday, but the next Saturday coming up. So you'll just see a random video pop up. Drum, it's all good. But yes, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Click the annotations for more videos like this and other things I've done on my channel. And I'm going to end this video off by saying, this Canadian here, it's rooting for your bacon. See you later, guys.
Take it easy.